You are live.
I'm live now?
You are live, sir.
You beat me to it. Hey everybody, Jeff Gellman of Solid K9 Training. How are you? I gotta get my a new cord for my this drive here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it keeps popping out because it's not because of the hard case. I mean the rubberized case. All right, let's try this now.
Someone goes HD finally.
Yeah, I know. So this is round two. We're on a different Wi-Fi. Let's see if this works better. Round two.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yep. So let me know if this is working better, guys. If not, we'll just move it inside. But I really want to do this outside because I really enjoy these interviews outside. Plus, to just enjoy this fantastic view here.
Got the dogs here,
Girl
one there.
over here.
Soko over here.
That's right.
Bentley over
there. Yes,
there.
better already. All right, better already.
Oh, great.
Okay,
Awesome.
good. Okay. So, if you're not familiar with who I am, let's switch this around. Turn this around. Hold on. So hey, everybody. Solid K9 Training. Solid K9 Training.
What is up?
And
Blake Rodriguez.
I'm doing an interview here with Blake Rodriguez. We did a couple of interviews yesterday,
Being
and he's actually
interviewed
a
by
relatively
Jeff.
new trainer, training for
Solid
5 or 6
K9
years,
Training.
but very, very successful. And he actually went to T3 back when it was a 3-day seminar, which is up to a 7-day seminar. So at T3, short for Train the Trainers, which is even shorter for Train the Trainers with Sean and Jeff, or Jeff and Sean, and Sean is spelled S-E-A-N. And that's with myself and 2 of my colleagues, Sean O'Shea and Laura Morgan, from The Good Dog, which is based out of Los Angeles, also in New Orleans. And the 3 of us do a 7-day intensive seminar. So Blake went there back when it was only 3. The province
My client's house
and I think it was
here in
the
Florida.
First, I think it was the first one
Jeff is here visiting. He heard we had a pool.
So pretty cool.
He was like, I gotta go.
Yeah, you'll have a great time on Mama Hans in the April T3. Actually, that one's gonna sell out. I think it's already 3 or 4 spots are left of that one. You sat beside Tori. She sat right beside you.
Yeah, she did.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just go right into. I want to talk to. I want to make this T3 focused. This particular Periscope, I want to make T3
I should charge him
focused,
rent. You're right.
and we're going to be also doing other ones. We're also going to be doing other ones today. So I think what I want to do is I want to talk to you about, number one, we went over last night in the Periscopes that you've actually only been training for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
And you're very well known. You're traveling the world. You're doing your own seminars, and I think this is what I really want to talk about. I want to talk about, here you are training less than 10 years, but you're already doing your own seminars. And I want to talk first about the T3 experience, what you got out of T3, but then I also want to talk about, hold on, you just started training dogs and you're doing your own seminars.
The nerve.
But who the hell are you to do that? You know, who the hell are you to do that?
Yeah.
Because I think it's important that people understand that, well, who do you need permission from? I really want to talk to young trainers about at what point in Blake's life was he supposed to wait for permission from who to become successful? Let's talk about the T3 experience. Talk to me about that. What did you get out of it, and what was your big takeaway from T3?
I guess it's kind of like go back from the beginning a little bit. We'll kind of find that middle ground. I had gone to a training Caesar's Way where I first met Sean.
That's right.
Sean O'Shea and I were at the same training Caesar's Way.
Right.
And it's a funny story. I didn't know anything. I just put up a little videos. I was a fan of Caesar. I thought like what I was doing was cool and was kind of similar, and I got invited out to that seminar, which I thought was the coolest thing. It was like the first or second one, and
back when it was not $6,500.
No, not at all. And Caesar was there. It's really interesting because here comes this guy who's like walking around, and this is Sean with his hat, and he has an assistant.
Yeah.
Who the hell is this guy?
Right.
Like, what was he doing? He's a dog trainer. He had a red Jeep back then.
He had the red Jeep, right.
The good dog out. And he was probably the first person that ever came up to me and said, "Hey man, I really I've seen some of your videos and I love the stuff that you do."
That's Sean.
And
That's
it was
Sean.
like,
Yep.
wait, what?
Yep.
You've seen my videos? You know,
Yep.
so it was really interesting, and he told me what he was doing. I looked him up later on that evening. I was like, oh, this guy's like doing some really good stuff, and I really loved his vibe. Seemed genuine. Laura seemed really cool.
Yep.
And that was kind of how we hit it off, like networking, and we kind of parted ways after, and I heard that he was doing these seminars. And originally when I went, I didn't know much about you. I watched one of your first YouTube videos, which you recently put out.
Yes.
Where you're sitting out,
Yep.
and you're
the
feeding
four
the dogs
dogs,
and stuff
yes,
with the
yeah,
music.
yeah.
That was like, in a lot of ways, I guess the old Jeff. Like when I
Well,
saw
no, but I
you.
leave that video up.
It's great.
Well, it sucked.
It's awesome, though.
But I leave it up just to show people. It's like, guess what? When you first start doing videos, don't worry about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first video looks like I shot it with like a potato.
Right.
The quality's
Right.
horrible.
Right.
The quality's horrible. And he was like, hey, we're doing these like seminars, and I knew I was into training, and I knew like at the very least from a networking point of view, these seminars and stuff are really, really beneficial. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna support Sean. I've heard about this Jeff guy. I'm interested. Let's see what they're doing. I don't know much about it. Let me just go to support.
Right.
And I was actually pretty blown away with what I got out of it. I didn't know what to expect.
Right.
You know what I mean? And everything from like personal development, like personal growth, to like the training, to what's kind of cool about what you guys is simplifying things,
Right.
which a lot of times people need to
Right.
see that, and also even remote collar stuff. I wasn't really a remote collar kind of guy, and
you were doing more Caesar-esque type stuff.
Yeah, and I was like really good at it, but then the problem is it doesn't really transfer over to the clients.
Right.
And I don't know if you remember this, but you had watched my videos, and I was already training dogs and stuff, and Jeff made fun of me, called me out in front of everybody, because when we started doing remote collar stuff around other trainers who some weren't even training dogs, I think I was the worst one.
No.
I know I was bad. Like with remote stuff.
With remotes.
Because I wasn't using my body. Like, try doing that without this, and it was so weird. But what was really cool, and what I like about seminars is you go to them and you learn about like that style and that thing, and that next week or month you almost try to do everything that way, and then eventually you go back into taking a little bit and then
Right.
going back to who you are
Right.
with a little bit more information.
Right.
So it's really cool. I got good with remote because I understood it,
Yeah.
but I was the worst one by far. I remember it. They remember you're like, hey guys, check out Blake. He's not performing well. You guys are running circles around him, and everyone was.
I think my point was not to shame you, though. I think it was.
Trying to shame you.
No, I think it was more about the concept of always learning new information.
Oh, absolutely.
And
yeah.
the concept of Blake's, because everybody else, a lot of people there were not training dogs at all, and Blake is actually training dogs, and people know who he is. But guess what? He's learning. He's learning. And I think that's what I want folks to know is, like in 2 weeks, I'm going to go see Josh Moran from Canine Connection in Buffalo, New York. He's actually down in Florida. He's got a weekend seminar. And I'm going to go there, number one, to support him, number two, to network, but number three, I'm looking for some takeaways.
Yeah.
I'm looking to take away 6 to 12 things. I'm looking to do some takeaways, because the thing about this is you always can learn something from somebody else's seminar, and then I benefit, my clients benefits. I'll include them in my videos. I'll include them in my my seminars. And this is the thing: like, none of us really invented anything. Like, that's what people have to understand.
You didn't invent the wheel.
It's like it's like we all sort of put our flavor on it, but it's not like there's tons of new information out there. It's dog training. That's another thing that people have to realize, that it's dog training. So you went to that seminar. So that was sort of like, was that a big eye opener from you?
It was.
You think?
It was an eye opener in a lot of different ways, because it was what I needed. I was already doing a lot of good things, and then I kind of heard it from you guys, and I was seeing it, and I was like, all right, you know what, I am on the right path. Because it is hard when you start, getting your feet and your toes in the water, and you're doing good stuff, and you're getting criticism, and now it's like, why are you doing this, or who are you to be training? But then you see people doing it, and you're like, you know what, I'm on the right path.
Yeah.
So it was everything. It was super supportive in a lot of ways. It's really cool. And the cool thing too, and that I love, and I love that you do this, you go to a bunch of seminars and stuff. It was kind of really cool to see genuine like appreciation for like another train, another love. Like, I love what you're doing. Oh, cool, I love what you're doing, learning from one another. And then like walking away from it, taking back information.
Right.
And this is the thing, like there's so many people that are so insecure to kind of learn and take this and go to another seminar, or they think it's an ego thing, but the more you learn, like the easier it is. It's just the more supportive you are, or I am of you, or vice versa, because you just have this huge toolbox. It's like I never want to stop learning from all these trainers, so it's just great. It's awesome.
And anybody, I've heard a couple of people say it's like, geez, I don't need to go to any seminars, and I'm like, what? Like, why would you not want to keep learning? I mean, there's this whole thing about your average college student. 80% of college graduates never read a book once they graduate from college. And I think about, like, I'm not like college educated, but I'm always learning stuff. So I'm a big advocate of like auto university, so I do audiobooks all the time. When you stop learning, you're eventually going to die, or eventually you're just going to fade away.
There's different stages of learning. You know what I mean? Like you learn from like the teacher and the coach, and then like this is with sports too. I relate a lot of things to sports. Coaches have been playing the sport all their life, and when they get to the point where they're actually teaching, I know personally now I'm at the point where I'm doing a lot of coaching, but like coaches will tell you I learn more actually teaching others than I ever have in the who knows 30, 50 years that I've been doing whatever. So it's interesting. There's so many different stages of learning, and like the person that wants to stop is I don't know. That's a red flag for me.
Let me just do a little bit of I'll do a Jeff bubble. So it's Jeff Gellman of Solid.
So just wanted to let you guys know, we're going to do a little Q&A after this. Just me, questions that you have, personal questions, dog behavior questions. For those of you that are just learning about me, I'm based out of New York City, Manhattan. We're in Florida right now. Dream Come True Canine, DCTK9.com. All right.
K9, he's based in New York City. We're actually down in Florida right now. I'm down in Florida here. I'm doing some workshop seminars for other clients.
So hang tight. The loyal ones will do some awesome Q&A stuff.
I came out of Delray for about 36 hours, maybe only a 24-hour visit. All right, 24-hour visit, and we're just hanging out.
All right.
Come to Peru for seminars. I've got to be invited first. So if you go to rvdogtrainer.com. All right. Blake and I don't do seminars
I
together.
am absolutely not a Pats fan. Get out of here, New York through and through. Hey guys, save the questions for the end. I'll do a little Q&A with you guys after.
So Blake, now let's go back. So T3 was great for you. You got incredible experience out of it.
Yeah, it was
sort
awesome.
of started you on your creativity and further educational path. But let's talk about now. It's funny because I just Googled. I went onto YouTube. And I just did tying your shoes. Tying your shoes. There is a video out there on how to tie your shoes that has 46 million in 9 months. 46 million views in 9 months. How to tie your shoes. Now, the issue is this. Permission. At what point do you have to be to give a seminar? At what point... How many years of learning do you have to be to become a teacher or a coach? And my big thing is we all can be teachers. We all have something valuable that we can share. So I think what happens with a lot of young dog trainers is that they're shamed and they're bullied, and there's a shitty mentoring system out there.
That's really unfortunate, actually.
And I don't know if it's just in our industry or all industries, but I don't think that it's very nice or fair or proper coaching to put down insult and shame a young trainer for wanting to share their information. So we can say, your timeline is not a secret. My timeline is not a secret. Sean O'Shea's timeline is not a secret. None of us have been training. I've just hit the 10, 11 year mark. Sean is a little bit less than 10 or 11 years. You're a little bit less than 10 or 11 years.
Yeah.
At what point, who gives us permission to do seminars?
Well, you know what it is? Then you have to look at what qualifies you as a dog trainer. Because if you really look at it, so my dog is 8, maybe going to be 9. Technically, I've been training because he was a hard ass dog, right? But then I started training dogs. Even when I started training dogs, it wasn't Dream Come True Canine. Then I LLC'd Dream Come True Canine in 2011. Started training then, and I tell people, so let's just say it was 5 years, within the company. I've been training for 5 years. It's really the last 2, or let's say 6 years, the last 2 to 3 where I feel that I know what I'm doing.
Right.
But who knows what that answer is going to be 20 years from now.
Right.
Say I've been training for 20 years, and the last 2 years I actually know what I'm doing.
Right.
But that's part of the process. That's part of experience.
Right. But you could also be doing a shitty job for 20 years.
Oh, absolutely.
So you could be killing it after 2.
Well, that's the thing. Experience by itself doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Just because you're experienced. Listen, I know people that have been playing basketball their whole life and they suck.
Right.
They're horrible.
Right.
And then I get on the court and I'm like, oh, you've been playing basketball for 20 years?
Right.
Doesn't mean anything.
Right. And then you get some junior high school kid that wipes your butt off the floor.
Yeah, it's like, holy kid, that guy's got talent. Now let's see if he has the work ethic.
Right.
You know?
Right. So I think an important message for young trainers, I'm such a huge advocate for young trainers, is stop waiting for permission.
Yeah.
Blake didn't wait for it. I didn't wait for it. Sean didn't wait for it. Nobody's waiting for permission. I mean, just everybody. I mean, Laura Morgan has a little, well, I shouldn't call it a side business, but Laura Morgan has a bunch of little businesses. She's doing like websites, video editing, organizing. Mm-hmm. She has a goal-setting coaching business. It's sort of like, I think Laura's 29? It's like, people can say, who are you to have your own business on doing something?
The one who's doing it.
I mean, the one who's doing it.
Exactly.
So who's the obligation to?
Yeah. The obligation is to the people that are interested.
Right.
And that's it. Those are your clients.
That's it. That's all we have an obligation to.
And if I enjoy it, good, then I'm doing it.
To our seminar attendees and to our dog owner clients. Yeah. That's it. That's all we really have to make happy.
Yeah.
We don't have to make anybody else happy.
And if you this is the thing. If you're doing that and you're finding out that you're not getting anything, then maybe you start to reevaluate some stuff. But I mean, if you're doing stuff right and you don't get followers right away, but you start to get it, and keep with it. You don't need approval. Just be humble within your bounds. I think that's important. Know where you are. Like, be ballsy enough to push and put yourself out there, but don't act like you know it all if you're still learning. Be humble about it, and you're gonna learn. And then eventually, you get the attitude that you need so that you get hit with humble pie. I get hit with humble pie every day.
Right. Well, you're a cocky New Yorker.
It's my
of course
favorite
you do.
flavor, but the humble pie is a learning experience. You need it.
Hold on. That key lime pie last night was better than humble pie. That was good pie, right?
I love me some humble pie, but the key lime pie
that was good.
Yeah,
that was really good. That was good. That was really, really good. So, what do you think is? What do you say to somebody that is, okay, how about this? Somebody's really good at training their own dog. They're training their own dog. They've been training their dog for 1 year. Okay? What do you tell them when to become a dog trainer? At what point should they become a dog trainer? Meaning, you're charging money now.
Yeah, you're charging money.
Yeah.
For me, it's a little bit of an ethical thing,
Yep.
like and morals. I have to know that if I'm going to charge someone money, I am confident that I can get the job done.
Right.
But you know what I mean? And like, I'm gonna give my all. It doesn't mean that every case is gonna be easy.
Right.
That's not true. But I'm at the point where I feel like I'm worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, no, I'll do this and I'll help. And I have somewhat experience. I mean, like, the best thing I can do is at the very least know that I worked with my dog and that my dog was a savage. And if I was able to turn him around, I think I can take care of your dog here. Right. You know, so if like you're a little like insecure and you're just getting started, work within your means, work within your bounds. Okay, yeah, I can help you with that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then now you're not getting in over your head. I think that's the problem. It's sometimes it could be too easy to get in over your head, but it doesn't mean that you can't do it.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that you can't do it.
Yeah.
You just got to know how to get there.
Right.
Like I'm training Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Right.
I think I'm really starting to get the hang of things. I'm a freaking white belt. I just finished rolling with some guys over here before you got here, and I got my ass kicked.
Right.
Does that mean I stopped?
There were white belts as well.
Oh, there were white belts as well.
Right,
Yeah, but I was getting my ass kicked by like blue belts and purple belts and then stuff and a white belt too. But that doesn't mean that I suck. It's just, okay, like I have this to learn, and I don't step over my bounds. I'm still working hard, and I'm getting better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't stop.
Yeah. But don't you think that is okay? What were we talking about on the car ride back from breakfast? About okay, about mentors. About mentors.
Oh, on the way going.
Yeah, going. What were we talking about how mentors treat? Okay, that's what it was. It's about mentors or teachers. Oh, okay. You hire a new employee, or you have a volunteer or a shadow, and you work their ass off and treat them like shit.
Yeah.
What do you think then happens when they become an employee?
They're going to treat their clients that way.
Bingo.
Yeah.
And who else are they going to treat? Who else are they going to treat? New employees.
Absolutely.
Eventually, they're going to be teachers.
It's just not the environment to work in.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that I'm not going to work you.
No.
But I don't need to treat
hard
you
work
like a
is
pledge.
fine. Hard work is fine.
Yeah.
But it's the treating like shit.
Yeah, treat them like a pledge.
That is not necessary.
You don't need to do that.
It's not necessary.
Yeah.
So you can still make them work hard or demand that they work hard. You can't make someone work hard. They should want to work hard. But it's the kindness that's missing.
Look, you need the kindness. I understand, I think, why some people do it because they have good intentions, but they don't realize, and this is what you actually said, you can work someone hard and show them what it takes, and that's enough to make or break someone to see if they want to do it or not. You don't need to, like, bash them and do all this, because the wax on, wax off work is already enough. You want to learn karate, sand the floors, wax this, and that's enough. I'm going to treat you nice about it, but you're going to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you don't have to treat them like shit.
Well, because they're going to be talking to clients one day.
Yeah.
And they're going to be training other employees one day, and you don't want them to know that that's the teaching model.
But that's also why I said working in restaurants, for me, from front of the house to back of the house, I think was probably the best thing I could do, because I worked at like Uno's and like Olive Gardens and like nothing like fancy with like tourists and people that didn't leave tips. And then I started working at more high scale, like front of the end, back of the end. Like if you've seen the new movie with Bradley Cooper, Burnt, he's like a chef, and it's chaos in the back.
You worked at Olive Garden?
You get reamed out. Not Olive Garden. It was like Uno's and a couple other like chain restaurants. And then I worked at Morimoto, which is like really high.